I guess I got to turn mute off if you all want to hear me, which may be in question. This is Steve Murray with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you as we get started with the year for being concerned about your clients and looking for ways to grow your business around Social Security claiming. Today's guest speaker, as always, when we talk about Social Security claiming, the opportunities there is Dave Pemper. Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching. He's also, like you all, an advisor and has been for in excess of 40 years. He works with both insurance products, annuities, and life insurance, and securities. He also recently added recently added advisor. He handles Medicare as well. So like you all, I guess the main thing is well-rounded advisor looking to building his business and being successful, just like you all. The 40 plus years in the business has included some time on radio, about 30 years, 20, I think it's in the high 20s, that he's had some interaction on radio, whether it was via like a close of the market type comments or a radio show, or I don't know that he counts what he's done from a commercial standpoint in that, but a lot of interaction on the radio side, a lot of seminars too. He's got about 550 or so consumer facing seminars under his belt, big in the seminar business. He started putting the math to that, and that's a lot of seminars, and it's been a big part of his business as well. So today we're going to talk about Social Security claiming, and we're going to talk about it in mostly Dave is going to talk about it in terms of kind of the 4 or 5 key things that you need to know that you can answer 60 to 70% of the questions that might come up, give you an opportunity to have access to more information and some training if you want it. And then also we'll talk about how you can meet more people and assist your current clients with Social Security claiming at a high level of expertise. Okay, thanks for joining our webinar. Again, my name is Steve Murray, president here, Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I actually love this particular webinar. I think it's very sales and marketing oriented, and I know that having the right product and good training is important, and I know that y'all like to be paid right and get good incentives, but one of the things that helping your clients and meeting new clients with a level of expertise, I think is a great thing, and it's something that I think we can all enjoy and get well behind. Before you on the screen right now, what you see, and I'm looking at our guests today, and it looks like 8 or 9 of you which is about a third of our guests today are folks that are relatively new, or names that I don't recognize, and I apologize for that. But generally what that means is that you're probably still within relatively fresh of being part of the IAMS team. So you're probably eligible for new producer builders. And as you're looking at the screen before you, you can see there's 5 levels to choose from, and a lot of different opportunities that you can take advantage of, including Social Security claiming and radio and training and all kinds of things to help build your business. What I say about this at this point in general is you can look at the screen and you can see what's available to you. By the same token, if you see something that you like or don't see something that you like, and you're doing something already, seeing something from a vendor or something that you've already done that you like, and you'd like us to put that marketing reimbursement on steroids in place for that, we would do that as well. That'd be a conversation to have with your sales director. If you want, you can call me directly. Which you can probably surmise is that if you're just choosing a cash incentive or a trip incentive, the Ritz-Carlton trip, it's a pretty good deal. But if you're choosing business builders, and we really kind of amp that up a little bit, because we know what's good for you, it's good for us in the business building realm. So whatever we can do to help you, we'd love to do that. A couple of programs that we use all the time and are been around for as long as any that we've had are marketing reimbursement and our RPM, referred producer money. Marketing reimbursement is simple. It pays when you do business with us, money goes into that to your account. You can use that to build your business, and anything that you do marketing wise we'll help you kind of match your spend dollar for dollar. So it makes it really easy for you to spend a little bit more money on marketing. The other is the RPM program. That's a referral program. Most of our business, like yours, comes from kind words of people that have taken advantage of our services and liked them and think that other people would benefit from them. So if you have a colleague, somebody that you know in the business, maybe met at industry event or convention or whatever, you say, hey, that's somebody that would probably really like what IAMS does in terms of our training or incentives or products or service levels, then I hope you'll think about giving us their name and an endorsement. And if they get appointed with us, we'll send you a check for $50, no big deal. But when they start doing business, that really starts adding up to some real dollars, because what we do is we pay you a bonus based on their business for as long as they're with us. And there are now, and have been for some time, the biggest checks that we send out, we send those out quarterly. And when I look at the amount of money that goes out, I couldn't be happier, really, because that's money that we would spend some other way in advertising, or send off to a magazine to run an ad, or send to an email company to run an email, something that would be less effective for sure than your referral. So we appreciate referrals. We'd rather send that money to you, and we'd rather send more of it. So if we can help you, if you've got a referral, somebody you think would be a good fit, I hope you'll give us their name and let us go after them. EAPs, most of you do EAPs now. I looked recently at our business mix and how that comes in, and it's for good reason. EAPs are quicker for you, easier for the most part. Most of the folks that I've worked with that have converted to EAP over the last 2 or 3 years, a lot of it, kind of pandemic related, as you can imagine. The first app or two seems a little harder, and then after that, it just seems a lot easier. So if you haven't done EAPs, you considered EAPs. One thing that I've run into with a lot of guys, if you're on our Firelight, if you go to our website and get on Firelight, what happens is that you have access to all the carriers that we do business with on the annuity side, for sure, via that Firelight link. So you don't have to go from website to website. Another nice feature is if you're doing 2 apps on the same client, let's say last year you did an app on a client, this year you're going to do a new one on the same client, there's a feature on Firelight where you can copy and paste all that pertinent information from app to app. Saves you a lot of time. And as you can imagine, that looks very professional to your client when they get that app. I've had a number of agents, I didn't know you could do this until towards the middle of last year, but you can go in and pull out, download or pull up an application package on Firelight, fill it in, send it to the client via email, and they can e-sign it, which is great. It's a great way to do business, very professional. But you can also fill it out and then print it off, and then sit down with your client, at appointment, and get it signed there, and then upload it back into Firelight, and it goes into their system as an EAP. And the advantage to you is that it's much, much quicker. So on average, a carrier will handle an EAP, because that's kind of the standard now, but they'll handle an EAP about 3 days faster than they will handle a traditional paper or faxed app. So keep that in mind. We'd love to help you. Go onto our website. You can register for EAPs in about 3 minutes. Call your sales director. We got a nice little video that Amber put together that will show you kind of the ins and outs of how to do an EAP, which is very handy. We can send that out to you as well. We got an advertising agency here for you. I'm already running behind, so I'm going to ski through some of these. We got an advertising agency here at IAMS, and they're tasked to help us, and then they're also tasked to help you. And so they do a lot of our creative. So if you've seen our creative stuff, they're pretty good. But they do that all day long for agents of ours in the field as well. They help them kind of on a pro bono, or obviously they're not a profit center for us; they're a business development center for us. So we're going to do a lot of things for you. And remember, they work with people just like you all day. That's all they do, as a matter of fact. So they know the business. They've got a lot of stuff pre-done. They've got some great ideas up front that they can help you with. So if you haven't taken advantage of the creative marketing team, call your sales director and say, what can they do for me? Use the retirement analyzer, or at least take a look at it if you haven't. I've gotten from the field, we had a meeting recently with, we do an advisory council, and we pick 10 of our top 30 or 40 producers and ask them to come in and tell us what's working and what's not, what we can do better. And I was surprised by the one that we did recently at all the interest that we have in the retirement analyzer software suite. So call Marcus, tell him to let you try that. We pay, if you're doing business with us, we pay your monthly fee. So you'll have access to that for nothing. Now, all I'm asking, if we're doing that for you, I want to make sure that you're using it, or we get it into somebody else's hands to use. It doesn't do anybody any good to pay a fee and not get anything. So if you have looked at it and you don't like it, and we're currently paying the fee for you, let us know. Give your sales director a call and say, hey, I'm not using that, so we can save that money. Appreciate that a lot. But if you haven't looked at it, give Marcus a call and say, hey, let me take a peek at that. He'll even run you through a couple scenarios or show you a couple scenarios. There's great training. The folks that put that software together have excellent training, and not only are they good with Retirement Analyzer, but they can help you through this, how their software works and the sales process. Really, really good stuff. And like I said, we pay that for you, and you can see before you on the screen all the things that it can do for you. I wish if you don't have a product like that you use that you're happy with, you'll be surprised what it can do for you in terms of getting you in front of more people on a very favorable basis. The new DOL thing just went into a place. A lot of people now kind of scrambling. I think maybe not 100% necessarily. I wish, we've had plenty of run up to the DOL coming into play on the 1st of February. And I think our group, as a general rule, is pretty well prepared to handle it from an insurance standpoint. But I know a lot of folks now are looking for other opportunities on the wealth management side, other ways they can potentially look at growing their business that way and have that as an availability to their client. So if you have that interest, let us know. I'm going to do, I almost hate to do this at this point. I'm going to do a quick poll. And I ask you just to answer yay or nay quickly. If you want them to call you and walk you through, it's about a 6-minute conversation. They can walk you through what they do on the wealth management side as far as helping you through the testing process. They'll put together your schedule. They'll get you the materials that you need and get you on the path. If that's something you want to do, by all means, give them a call. If you already have an RA, not happy because the service is not what you want or the help doing business is not what you want, I would check yes on that. I get great feedback. If maybe you're not happy with your fees that you're having to pay or the payout that you're getting, we're just a little bit over 1% is our payout, and that doesn't go through a grid, so it's 100% of 1%. So if your current RIA says, yeah, you get 1%, but you go through a grid, you get 90, 80, 70, 60, we can help you with that too. So thank you all for voting. A couple of you did not, which if it's a problem that you can't vote, just call me. If you want to talk to those folks, just give me a call, and I'll be glad to get you hooked up with them. But I want to close this out and get moving right along for right now. I want to make sure that you're all aware of our Top Producers Summit. We're gonna sail from Rome to Venice, which sounds like a short sail, but it's not. It goes down around the boot of Italy, comes back up. We'll go by Greece, we'll go by Croatia, go by Montenegro on our way up, and you and your guests are going to have a room with a balcony. You're going to have 24/7 service because we're all going to be on the concierge level. They're also going to let you on the boat early. They're going to get you off the boat early because of that special designation, which is really nice. And they're going to shine your shoes and press your clothes and give you great service. And the key to that, if you've been on a cruise before and maybe not had a balcony, it's great to have a balcony, but it's especially nice on this trip because we'll be floating down the coast, or steaming down, I guess, the coast, and then steaming back up. And so depending on what side of the boat you're on, coming back up, everybody's going to see something. On one side, you'll see Italy, and on the other side, you'll see Greece. But even going down, there'll be Italy on the one side all the time. So it'll be great to have a balcony. If you've never woken up and had breakfast out on your balcony with the coast of Greece or Croatia going by, this will be an experience you won't want to miss. We'd love to have you on board. It takes $4.5 million to qualify. We still have qualification time. The qualification runs through the end of June, so it can be done. Many of you are already well on your way. A couple of you have already qualified. Congratulations. We thank you for your business, and thank you for wanting to join us for what I think will be the trip of a lifetime. So I gave Dave a pretty good introduction before. I gave you a lot of background on him. The key here today is you're going to learn kind of where the opportunity is and why there's such an opportunity around Social Security claiming. There was a couple years ago, and there were some changes. It's more than a couple now. It's probably 3 or 4. I'm terrible at time, but there were some changes made in Social Security. So everybody said Social Security claiming instead. It's not less complicated. It may be a little less complicated, but there's still plenty of complications, and there's a ton of interest, a growing pool of folks very interested in what's going to happen and how do I best claim my Social Security, which obviously leads you into a great conversation about retirement income. So it's a really good level, it's a really good expertise to have. And we've got Dave Pimper, who's been doing it for about 8 years now, and just a fantastic job. And you can imagine when you make this a centerpiece of your business for as long as he has, and go to the links to understand everything that they can about Social Security, because he also helps many of our producers with the specific knowledge around Social Security. So you can imagine he's a very great resource for our people. And he's going to display that for us here right now with a great webinar regarding Social Security claiming. So, Dave, are you with us this morning?
Absolutely. How are you doing, Steve?
Very, very well. You missed my stupendous introduction. I told everybody all about all the good things that you've done over 40 plus years in the business. So, but I'm sure you want to maybe give them a little bit more insight. Then let's talk about Social Security claiming.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Steve. Yeah, my name is Dave Pemper, and I'm a producer, just like everybody mostly on this call with us today. But I'm also a coach, and so I train people in Social Security claiming, retirement planning, retirement plans, just a lot of different sales process coaching. And, our business, it's a pretty simple business. I mean, you have to get in front of enough qualified prospects, and then you need to know what to say to them when you're in front of them and try to fill a need. The biggest part of that equation that's the hardest to do is to get in front of enough people. Social Security is a very unique tool in that most advisors don't understand Social Security claiming, and we actually offer 3 different ways to get taught up or to get coached up with Social Security claiming. So, Steve, are we going to go in? Can you advance this, or can I advance this, or how is this working?
I have given you access, so give it a shot. Yep, see if it'll work for you.
Okay, so you know what? I'm trying here. Well, for some reason, I'm still on the screen of, would you like to learn more about IAMS Wealth Management?
Oh, you're kidding me. Did I not close that poll out?
I think the poll's still up. I would guess, and I could be wrong on that, but that's showing on mine anyway.
Huh. Let's see if I did close.
As he's working, okay.
I'm just going to look.
Well,
I'm going to put another poll up, and then I'm going to knock it down, and we'll see if that.
Okay. Good.
How about now?
Would you like to learn more on IAMS Wealth Management?
Still up.
Yeah. So maybe it's just me. I mean, it could be, but that's what I'm showing on my screen. So as you're trying to get this back up to my slide, Steve, I'll just talk a little bit through on this with Social Security. Okay.
Thank you.
Do you show? Okay.
I see that that's the audio you now. So let me see if I can figure it out. You start talking, and I'll see if I can figure this out.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So Social Security. So, just to think about Social Security, if you think about it, it was started in 1935. And at that time period, we were a young nation. Actually, in 1950, there were 15 workers for every retired. That's how many people, 15 workers are putting into Social Security for everyone that's retired. Now it's 3 people working for every retired. And my dad told me when I was a kid, I mean, I'm going to be 67 years old. When I was just starting to work, Dad said, don't rely on Social Security because it'll never be there. But interestingly enough, it is. And about 59% of all Social Security recipients, it is their major source of income, over 401k income, over pension income, over annuity income. And so it's a very, very important. And normally what we do, and Steve's trying to bring this up right now, but normally we would do a quiz. And it's a 5-question quiz. And on this quiz, basically what we're doing is we're just going in and showing you of how little most advisors really know about Social Security claiming. Okay. In fact, there's by Sarah O'Brien, and she's with CNBC. She says most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security. And listen to this, which is interesting. It says a majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor, a recent study concluded. Isn't that wild? Even if they're working with an advisor, that advisor doesn't give really any type of Social Security advice. So let's do this. And normally we could see the slide, but you can listen as Steve gets this up and going. But let's just see how you do on this five question quiz. And there's only 300 Americans, 1 in 300 actually could answer all those questions correctly. So it says to maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? There we go, Steve. I can see it now. So
I'll go
there
one
we
more.
go. I'll go one more. Perfect. I'll go 2 more. I feel like I'm in complete control here. Let's see if we can go in. And okay, and I'm out of it again now. So are you giving me the? There we go. So let's see if I can do it here.
And see if you can move it.
Yeah, I did. I could in the beginning. I'm having trouble now.
It's weird. I'm gonna reshare it with you, Dave.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna just unshare and reshare. Sorry
okay.
for the technical difficulties, everyone. Okay, try it again, Dave. There you go. You got it.
There we go. Okay, thank you, Steve.
Yep.
I'm sorry about that. And Steve, just to let you know, we're going to be done with this at 1:15. Okay, so this is not going to be a long webinar, only about 25 minutes from here on out. But I'm going to teach you about Social Security and a little bit how maybe we can help you get taught up on Social Security. So at 1:15, we'll be done with the webinar itself and answer any questions. But it says here to maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? Do you know the answer? Take this quiz with me. The answer to that is not full retirement age. It is age 70, especially if you're single. If you want to maximize your benefit, you wait to the age of 70 if you're single. Second, what's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? You know what that answer is? Age 60. There's a 28.5% discount, a reduction, but you can do it at age 60. How about, does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yes or no? Answer is, yep, they do. You can't get half of theirs unless they're claiming. Okay? Question 4, can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Yay or nay? Yep. If 4 stipulations are met, if you can answer 2 of the 4, what 2 of the 4 stipulations, what are they? Or does anybody know the 4 stipulations? So if you can guess 2 of them, I'm going to give this answer question correct to you. So here's the stipulations. Your marriage had to last 10 consecutive years or longer. You're currently unmarried. That's the person taking the benefit. The ex is at least 62. The divorce was 2 years or longer. So if you got 2 of the 4 and said yes, you get that right. And then lastly, are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Say you're divorced and your spouse dies. Can you get a benefit from them? Here we go. Yeah, you can. And I'll give this to you because we already went through it, but if those 4 stipulations are met. Okay? So how did you do on this quiz? Most people, I mean, they might get 1 or 2 correct, or they guess to 1 or 2, but I'll tell you right now, very few people get 4 or 5 of those correct. When I took it, I did get all 5. I thought the first one about how to maximize your benefit, that's a little tricky because you think you get your full benefit, but they're talking about maximum benefit at age 70. Most people don't really have an understanding of Social Security. I've got a Social Security workshop. I got a bunch of them going on right now, with other advisors and with myself. I've got at the end of February, I'm doing my Social Security workshop. Then I'm doing them all the way through into the summer. But we would like to get 10 appointments from that. And when people come in with Social Security, you have to uncover all their assets. You have to uncover all their savings, all their retirement accounts, and that's of course where the business is. So what we do is there's 3 ways that we actually coach people up on Social Security claiming through IAMS, the FMO, and myself being the coach. One is with Social Security seminars, and what happens is on that Social Security seminar, and Steve, you're there, aren't you? Steve?
I am.
think he is. Yeah.
Yep.
We had talked about this before, but I was talking with Jared actually yesterday, and anything under $3,000 is extremely competitive on especially if you get any kind of guarantee, which we still do give. And we were at last year and the year before we were at 2,500, but the cost of just Facebook marketing has gone up in value. So we actually, one of the things we'll talk about, Steve, but we actually are going to bring that up to $2,700.50. It gives us another $250 of just added marketing that we can get enough people to really make an impact with your seminar, because we'd like to get 35, our guarantee is 35 buying units, or 35 attendees have signed up for the workshop, and we'd like to get 10 appointments out of that. But with that $2,750, what happens is that we are going to go on in and hopefully get 10 appointments. That's our goal, is to get 10 appointments, because if you have 10 set appointments from the workshop, pretty hard not to do business with 1, 2, or 3 of those folks. So that's the first way, and IAMS pays for me to coach you up on Social Security claiming. Second way, Retirement Boss Radio. I mean, very interesting, and I shared this with Steve earlier in the week yesterday, but I got 5 calls for appointments, set appointments by the call center. One of them did not set the appointment, but he was actually an advisor, and he complimented me on what I was saying on the air, which is the first time that has happened to me, which is kind of weird. But I had 4 set appointments that we set up, and we contacted each one of them, and we hope to get 10 or more every month from Retirement Boss Radio, and it normally runs $3,000 to $4,000 all in an hour of radio time. We coach you up on Social Security there. IAMS pays for that, or you can just a la carte it for $800. You get 4 coaching sessions. I believe Social Security is one of the great kind of just not represented enough of how much it can help your business from a production standpoint. So if you don't know really the ins and outs of Social Security, 3 great ways. 2 are paid for by the FMO, and the third one is just a la carte on yourself. This is by Jana here in USA Today a couple of years ago. She's from USA. She says, doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. How much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Is that wild? And overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. It means 96% did not. Boy, it's just how much we can help folks. Now, I had mentioned, back in 1935 when it was started, but age 65 was the original only age that you could take Social Security, but of course that's changed now. You can take as early as 62, up to a 25 or 30% discount. You can wait till the age of 70 and add on anywhere from 24 to 32% guaranteed on those delayed retirement credits. There is taxation if you make above a certain amount of money. And Steve is right. The last big time someone has changed Social Security was back in 2015 with the Bipartisan Budget Act. 59% of retirees count on Social Security as their major source of income. Is that wild? That's how important it is. And if you just want to do Social Security simple, just 101, There's three important ages or dates that are important to Social Security. One is at full retirement age, you get the full benefit. But if you want to get the biggest benefit, you can delay it as late as up to age 70. No reason to do it after that. There's no benefit. You can take as early as 62, but it is a 25 or 30% discount. Okay? So can Social Security have a huge value? Yeah, if you claim at your right time. Not the right time, not a right time, but at your right time. Now, here's what happens is that there's about $2.8 trillion in the trust fund. And when they talk about Social Security going broke, it's the trust fund. But there's still the 6.2% coming in for payroll taxes, all right? And so there's ways you can shore it up. You can do it by taxation. You could do it by increasing the age, like full retirement age from 67 to 68 or 70 to 71 or 72. They'll probably do something of both of those. But if they don't, then that trust fund will run out of money in the year 2034. But you would still get about 75 or 80% of your benefit you would still be able to get. So here's some facts about Social Security. Is it a pay-as-you-go system? Yes, it is. Is it funded by payroll taxes? Yeah, the majority of it is. Do they buy special issue government bonds? Yes, but the government borrows against those or sell those to go in and pay off other debt within the general budget. But that IOU, it's the same IOU if you think about it, that backs American currency. There's no gold or silver or bonds that back currency, but it's an IOU. Same here. So I'm not concerned about it being a Ponzi scheme as long as you do have the full faith and credit of the United States government. If you have any questions, just type them on in. I'll be more than happy to answer. But I can't impress on you enough when we're coaching together. First of all, we go right from there. Those are part of our slides that we use. We have 44 slides. We're going through a few of them today, but those are the same slides if you go in and you do a seminar presentation. But 40 quarters of coverage is how many you need. So each quarter of coverage, if you make $1,510, you get a quarter of coverage. You can get up to 4 of those a year. So it's $6,040. You make $6,040, you just made yourself 4 quarters of coverage. You need 40 of those, 10 years of those to get a Social Security benefit. The more you make, the more you get up to an amount. Right now, if you make above $147,000, which a lot of folks don't, but if you do, then you don't pay into the Social Security system, and they look at your 35 highest inflation-adjusted years. So even though 40 years ago you might have made $18,000, that might be almost maximizing your Social Security benefit today. Don't you love that dog? Full retirement age, FRA. So if you're born from 1943 to 1954, it's 66. I was born in 55, it's 66 years and 2 months. If I was born in 56, 4 months. If you're born in 1960 or later, your age 67 is full retirement age. A baby born today, full retirement age 67. If you take early, it's discounted up to 30%. If you wait after full retirement age, it grows 8% a year. That's guaranteed by the U.S. government, not counting inflation. This year, COLA is 5.9%. Well, you go in at 8% and add almost another 6% to it. It grows 14%. If you got a $3,000 benefit, you're going to have a $300 per month increase. They can't ever take that away from you. That's every single month the rest of your life. That's how much more you're going to get. What a big deal. This is the highest cost of living this year we've had in 39 years since 1983. So I'm a believer if you know the individual benefit, spousal benefit, divorce spouse benefit, survivor benefit, and restricted application. You know those 5 claiming strategies? You virtually can answer almost every question there is about Social Security. So here, and those are in simple form. When we're coaching, we get much more in depth and we role play and so forth. And you get attachments when we're coaching. And you can use me ongoing as long as you're contracted with IAMS. You can use me at any time you want to through email, or you can call me. Any questions about Social Security or financial matters in general. But with Social Security spousal benefits, let's say Dave's, that PIA stands for primary insurance amount. That's the amount that you get at your full retirement age. Dave's is $2,400 at PIA. Amy's at primary insurance amount at 66 is $1,000. Dave takes his $2,400. Amy takes her $1,000. But Amy also has an option. She could take her $1,000, or she could take half of Dave's, whichever is higher. Well, what's she going to do? She's going to take half of Dave's. You know why? Because it's more than just her own benefit. And how the Social Security looks at that is they look at that as $1,000 is her benefit and $200 is a top-up benefit for spousal benefit. Okay? Divorced spouse benefit. That and survivor are left on the table all the time. And you know what? If you don't take the benefit, you don't get the benefit. Social Security Administration is not going to mail you some registered letter and say, hey, you're leaving money on the table. They don't do that. They're actually kind of hoping you don't take the maximum benefit. Less money coming out of the Social Security coffer. So here's what divorce spouse benefit. Remember the 4 things, the 4 kind of things that have to happen to make this work? The marriage had to be 10 years or longer continuously. The spouse receiving the benefit is not married. The ex could be, but not they can't. Ex is at least 62. The divorce was 2 years ago or longer. If those stars and moons line up, you can take your divorce spouse benefit just as if you're still married to them. There's many more options. In fact, spousal benefits, you have over 500 claiming options with spousal benefits. Unbelievable. Many, many more compared to single options. And do I know all those options? No, but that's what the software is for. My wife always says nobody gets out of here alive, and that's true physically. Maybe not spiritually, but physically it's true. In this hypothetical scenario, Dave and Amy are both married. There's no discounting, say they're full retirement age. Dave's benefits $2,000, Amy's benefits $1,200. Who normally dies first, the guy or the gal? The guy. Not fair, but it happens 75% of the time. My mom right now is 98 years old. 98. My dad's been gone for 16 years. My mom has dated the same guy for 10 years. His name's Dean. He's 98. I mean, there's one guy out of that. The mom still plays bridge and socializes bingo, and she does some cribbage. There's only one guy in that group, and that's Dean. Everyone else is a woman. But people are living longer. Remember, Social Security is a lifetime benefit. My mother went from her benefit up to my father's survivor benefit. That helps her get by month in and month out. In this scenario, Dave's benefit is $2,000, Amy's $1,200. Dave dies. You can't get both benefits upon death. You can take one or the other. Keep the $1,200 or jump up to leave your $1,200 to the side and jump up to the $2,000. That's what has to be requested. If Amy doesn't request it, it never happens, and there's just a loss of benefit. Another cool thing is, but from a surviving benefit, is that you can go in and take the widow's or the survivor's benefit as early as age 60. It's discounted 28.5%, but then you can let yours grow and grow and grow and grow all the way, if you wanted to 70, and then take it at no discount whatsoever when it's much, much bigger. So there's quite a few options you have on a survivor benefit. And then coordinating spousal benefits, a restricted application. File and suspend went away back with the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015 implemented in 2016. But you have to be born before January 2nd in 1954. So that puts you at 68 years and a month old. So if you're under 68 years and a month, can't do it. If you're born after January 2nd or January 2nd of 54 or later, can't use this. So it certainly is restricted on how many can use it. But if you're born before, what happens is, and you're married, you can go in as long as your wife is taking the benefit. You can double dip on a spousal benefit. So here's how it works. Dave's PIA is 2,400 and Amy's is 1,000. Remember, they'd have to be at least full retirement age, 68. Well, born before January 2nd in 1954. But what happens is Dave can go. Amy's taking her 1,000, but Dave can let the delayed retirement credits grow, but also get half of Amy's on a spousal benefit. So that's almost 2 years of a $500 a month benefit. Almost $12,000 of free money can come Dave's way if that sets up for restricted. It doesn't come up a lot now because of the age, but what it does, it fits like Cinderella's shoe. So you're thinking to yourself, why don't people just go to the Social Security Administration and get advice there? You know why they can't? Because unbelievably, the Social Security Administration cannot give advice. How wild is that? I asked my lawyer, my CPA, and my banker, all of them. I asked them, would people need advice with Social Security? First of all, do you know enough about Social Security to give them advice? Every one of them said no. Those are sharp dudes. And I said, so who do you send them to for advice? Because I was learning Social Security. I wanted them to send them to me. They said, we send them to Social Security Administration. And even though they can't give advice, they can give your highest benefit right now, but they can't ask about your health or about your assets or about your income or about your DNA, how long you're going to live, your income stream. We can ask all of that. Social Security cannot. In fact, and I got this right from the Social Security website, from their POMS, Program Operational Manual System. It says, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. We give advice. Social Security Administration cannot. That's just amazing. That's why it's just so powerful to have a Social Security claiming background. Now, just consider all your income streams before you claim Social Security. So I think it's important enough to go through each one of those. Social Security is not a standalone income stream. There's other income streams that it has to complement. Social Security is the most flexible of all income streams, claiming at your right time, not the right time. And don't forget about the survivor's benefits. That's very, very important because that makes a difference on kind of your break even. So here's the 5 pillars: wages, pensions, income producing assets, RMDs at 72 on traditional retirement accounts, and then Social Security. The money maker for us is number 3. That's how we help people with their investments, with their 401k rollover. I just do a lot of rollover accounts. And that's where the big money is right now. That's the biggest asset. Normally bigger than a person's home is their 401k. So their 401k, 403b, 457, SEP Simples, IRAs, Roth, brokerage accounts, cash value life insurance, all of that falls under that 3. It's part of the fact finding that I do to uncover all those assets. So when you start just thinking, when should I claim Social Security? Remember, there's just all different kind of benefits. Individual benefits, spousal, divorced. Got to think about the health of the person, income sources. When we're coaching, it seems like a lot to digest, but believe me, when we're coaching, we do it step by step by step. And you really get a knowledge, and then just going out there, you have someone you can call, like myself, or if you need me to get on the appointment, I can actually get on the appointment with you and talk to the client. I mean, I won't do that time after time after time, but will I do it the first couple of times? Certainly, if you need help there. So there's just a lot of help that you're not going to get from the outside. And if there's any questions, type them in. Remember, I said there's 3 ways: through seminar marketing, Retirement Boss Radio marketing, or just if you want to say, I don't need marketing, I've got enough leads, or I just want to learn Social Security alone, then it's $800, and I'll coach you up on 4 sessions with Social Security. There's no other FMO and a coach that really offers you 3 different ways. 2 are paid for. Seminar and Retirement Boss Radio, being your own radio host, those are paid for by the FMO. They know by you knowing, understanding Social Security claiming, it'll help your business write business. Of course, that's how an FMO makes their money, is business that is written. So one of the things, though, and I kind of went out of this. I don't know how I did that, Steve, but I'll go back. Oh yeah, it says don't procrastinate. We're actually going to put up a poll. Hopefully, we won't have any problem with it like we did in the beginning. But it's whether, if you mark yes or no. If you mark yes, then we will certainly contact you. Brady will, and we'll get a good time for me and you to meet. But there's no saying called procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. And tomorrow never comes, does it? If you heard something today, if you haven't, if you're working the pre-retired crowd, how can you work that through income streams without really understanding Social Security? Now is the time to get up and coached up on this that could really catapult your 2022 production. So, Steve, I'm going to turn this over to you, and if they want to mark yes, they certainly can there. We'll talk 15, 20 minutes, then have a good conversation on marketing, a little bit on Social Security, what it can do for them. But is there any questions that we need to answer before we sign off for the day?
There are a couple that have come up here, Dave. You said during the course of the meeting that you do radio, get on for an hour, and it was 5,000, and then somebody replied back, so 20,000 a month. And so I think you might want to clarify a little bit about radio. There seems to be some interest there.
Yeah, that 5,000 a month would even be high. I would say it's more like $3,000 to $4,000 a month all in. That includes, it's a recorded show, so that includes the recording time, the radio time. You have a co-host. In fact, if you go up on www.retirementbossradio.com, www.retirementbossradio.com. Yeah, it's retirementbossradio.com is the URL. That's our website, and we have every recorded show of every week, and you can listen to it. There's a white paper, gives you some more insight. But radio, I'm telling you what, as you know for myself, Steve, radio and seminars, that's been the player for me to go in and basically, I mean, we have blocked off the rest of my week because I can't take any more appointments this week. I mean, I am just absolutely booked to the gills on appointments, but that's wonderful. And you know what? Do I close every appointment? Of course not. Of course not. But I close every week. I'm closing business, and that's what the name of the game is. And through seminar marketing or radio host marketing, that can really keep you busy with face-to-face appointments.
Yeah, it's been an amazing mix for you, Dave. I know the kind of the grail at our business seems to be, how can I see more people or get in front of more people, and that has not been a problem for you, even through the pandemic. In fact, in some ways, I think you would say that radio during the pandemic probably was even more valuable and even more. You got a lot more return, so it's been a great thing for you.
It has been. Yeah, you can't catch the vid over the radio airlines. It doesn't happen. So people listen to radio more than ever than they have right now. It's been really, really great for us.
Yep. So question about Social Security claiming training. So it is a little hard to we're just relatively short time. So here's the way that it works. And Dave, you just stop me because we've got a
Hmm.
couple questions. So if you decide, hey, I want to do Retirement Boss Radio or I want to do seminars, then your coaching is included, and the fee that you pay to get your room full doesn't change. So basically, you do get that coaching truly for free with your first seminar. And so if you can
That's right.
imagine, and Dave, are you looking at doing an increase from 2,500 to 2,750?
Yeah. That's basically because we need to get enough people to come to the workshop. It gives us the cost of Facebook marketing. I don't know if you followed this at all, but
Yeah, I
Facebook
know.
went up about 8 months ago, and so I knew that it was tight. We wanted to keep but at $2,750, I actually did a little spying. I went out and to have some type of guarantee, there were firms that were charging five or what we're offering over $5,000.
Mhm.
And we're at $2,750. So it's still very much on the low end of cost, but it's been on the high end of actually productivity of the amount of appointments that we're getting, folks. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great deal. You don't have to search a long time to figure out that's whether it's 2,500 or 2,750 or 3,000 or 3,500. That's still well below what's available out there to get 35
Yep.
people to register for your Social Security seminars, because you do two. That question came up as well because the gentleman, it doesn't have the room for 35 attendees. So you might want to talk just about that and how you actually lay out your Social Security claiming seminars.
Right. What we do is to get the 35 guarantee of signups. There has to be 2 nights. Like I'm doing one right now because he was actually working with another company and unhappy with the returns, came to us, but they're only having one night. So we don't give a guarantee if it's only one night because you're going to reduce your amount of people coming 20 or 25%. If you have 2 nights, 2 different nights, because maybe who knows, like maybe Tuesday night is Dancing with the Stars night, or maybe Thursday night is Bridge Club night, or whatever. So you've got to have a couple different times in there. But what happens is that we do it through social media. It's amazing of how many people are on Facebook. And we've done some different with Twitter. We did some Instagram, but it's Facebook. That is the driver. And I wasn't a big believer of it until a couple of years ago, and we got a new vendor that really proved it to me that it's very viable and we've grown extremely good business. Didn't make any difference whether it was from hard copy or from Facebook. So we guarantee 35 invites. We hope we can get 10 appointments, from those 2 nights. And if you have 10 appointments, the chance of closing 1 to 3 pieces of business, I think, is very high. So we really like this seminar marketing at $2,750. It's on the low end as far as cost is concerned in seminars. And I'll say this too, Steve, which is interesting. Omaha right now has this is interesting. Omaha has they just implemented, so we're on the very end of another mask mandate. So we have to wear a mask. Well, we're having this at the library. So we called the library, and they said because it's a federal building, it isn't mandatory. We highly recommend it, but you don't have to wear a mask at the library.
Interesting.
So that's very interesting. I don't quite understand it. I'm happy about that. So we just said we just say masks are available. We bring masks. I have done one every single month, since kind of things have opened back up, and we've had extremely good attendance, and we've seen that there are a lot of people that just aren't fully marketing yet. And I will say that is a big, big mistake because there is a lot of people who want to get educated. People aren't slowing down on turning 62 or turning 66, or a lot of layoffs and all the different kind of just lesser jobs that are people, that's happening right now because of the pandemic. More people are taking Social Security, need questions about Social Security, and then you can work, hopefully work with their rollover retirement money. So it's like a perfect storm, I think, for right now for doing seminar marketing or Retirement Boss Radio marketing.
You bet. And target market, Dave, the question came from two people. What are you seeing for ages at your seminars? And when you're getting appointments from the radio, how old are those folks generally when they're coming in to talk to you? Are they 62?
Yeah, it's
Are they 60?
pre-retired or just retired. So yeah, so I would say the most common age is 63, 63, 64, 65.
Mhm.
We actually are marketing to 55 up to 70 with Social Security. And of course, radio, you can't target market, but if you're on a big old kind of like we're on a Rush Limbaugh station, I mean, Rush is deceased now, but conservative talk radio, there aren't many 30-year-old teens. They're on a podcast, or they've got headphones on, they're not
Hey.
listening to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that's what the truth is.
Yep.
No, you got older people. I mean, people that are from 55, 60, and above who are listening to those shows. And there's a lot of wealth people listening to radio. You become almost like a celebrity star status. Different than seminars doesn't give that to you, but radio certainly does. And it seems like the money I work with is a little larger from the radio side than it is from the seminar side. And normally it's a little more expensive to do radio than it is seminars. Not much, but a little. So I do them both, but seminars is a great entry, and we'd love to coach you up and get you taught on Social Security claiming.
Perfect. Dave, the software, I have two questions really. One said
Mm-hmm.
the assumption is that we have to buy software to run the Social Security claiming proposal, and then another person asked, what software do we use? Can you answer both those questions?
Yeah, so what happens is we've got an outside vendor. I'd rather not say the name but it's a well-known vendor, been around for 30 plus years, and we get 3 months worth of free seminar software with Social Security claiming. So you get that free. So after that, it's about $30 a month if you want to go in. There's many softwares that are out there, but it's simple, it's to the point, it's easy to use, and it makes the impression on the client itself. So we give that to you you get that for 3 months at no cost to yourself. You get that free when you sign up for the program.
Good stuff. There's a couple other questions that are more personal, Peter, and I think it's Denise had a couple questions. Hopefully you folks have signed it. Dave would be glad to talk with you one-on-one regarding those more detailed and mildly personal questions that you have on that. We do record this presentation, Louise, so we can send you a recording of it, and you'll have that. You'll get an offer to receive that via GoToWebinar here probably within an hour, and so you can link to that. And then all of these are housed on our website. So if you want to listen to any of our webinars, go to our website, www.imzinc.com, and go to the YouTube icon, click on that. All of our webinars will come up. Dave has been doing these. He's done webinars specifically regarding radio, for those of you that might have more specific questions about that. I did also I chatted over to you the www.retirementbossradio.com website. So that you all have that as well. What you'll find there, and it's not immediately, you have to go down towards the bottom, but you'll see Dave House's recordings of his radio shows, and it gives you an idea of the quality of the production. Not that Dave doesn't sound great on his own, but a lot of people think, well, my radio show is not going to sound that good. Everybody does. They do a great job on production. Dave, how long did it take you to really get into your groove on radio and have some okay, thank you, and really kind of get into the groove on the radio side of your business?
Took me 4 weeks. I mean, to really get the feel of it, took me three, 4 shows. So that's why I say, you shouldn't be thinking, hey, I'll go one and be done. That isn't going to work whatsoever. But if you go in for 3 to 6 months of radio, after about 2-3 times, you really get a feeling, of what radio can do for you. You get comfortable with it. But I practice. I had really no one to practice with me. And I coached myself, and so now I know what the mistakes I made, and I give you a list of things to say, not to say, great things to say, hot topics, cold topics. So, and then I critique your first couple that you do, and just help you get better and better, and we turn you into a pro. I mean, we make you sound great before it's all said and done.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Those of you that elected to hear from Dave, you're going to get Dave's You're going to get a call from Brady. Brady will touch base with you and get you an appointment. And that can be a call that takes 7 minutes or it'd be a call that takes 20 minutes. You can get some great information from Dave. I will guarantee you that. Dave, thank you for your work here today. Great stuff. I
Well, you bet.
really enjoyed it. I always do. And thank you all for joining us here today. Like I said before, we're really biased towards helping people that are trying to grow their business and help their clients. No, none of you are more interested in that than people that join for webinars like this that are training and helping you get in front of clients. So thank you for joining us today. Everybody have a great finish to their sales week. We're off to a great start in 2022. Hope you are as well. Talk to you later.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your time today. Bye-bye.